My dad, who is 60, has had an affair with a 23-year-old, but it's not as simple as that, and my moral compass and heart are smashed to pieces. This week I, 31, female, got a call from my mum, 58, female, that my dad, 60, male, was having an affair with someone who works for him. She's 23. My dad owns his own business that employs 4 people in skim. My mum, the 23-year-old other woman, and another guy I side. Found out as she looked at photos on his iPad, and right there were pictures of him and the 23-year-old on a weekend away taking selfies. Some background here is needed. My parents have been together nearly 40 years. My mum has mental issues when they married. But when I was born, they blew out of control. Mum has bipolar with severe depression, PTSD, OCD, including intrusive thoughts, personality disorder. And it's probably fair to say that her mental age is that of an early teen. Dad has looked after Mum so much. No other man I know would have dealt with what he has. As a baby when she was sectioned, he looked after me while starting his business. Looking after Mum has meant huge sacrifices for him. Having Mum around creates a sad environment most of the time. She's always down and can be very selfish, very nasty and hurtful, just sits at home on the sofa most of the day with no enjoyment of life. He's done this and provided for her 40 years. 5 years ago, they decided to move out of our family home and move in with my grandmom's, Mum 80, whilst they build their new home in her back garden. After 5 years, admittedly there was COVID apart from the land being cleared for the foundations. Dad hasn't made any progress, leaving them living at Grandma's. This has frustrated Mum as she had a traumatic childhood in that house anyway, as my grandpa, who has now passed, was an alcoholic. Hence her PTSDs. Her mental illnesses seemed to get worse over this time. Meanwhile, I got married last year, and both my parents lost weight for the occasion. Both were very overweight. Mum has gone back to her weight before. Dad's kept his weight off, started buying designer clothes, dyeing his hair, bought a Porsche he had 20 years ago, and all he seems to care about is how he looks. He became absolutely obsessed with not wanting to turn 60. His tolerance to Mum seriously lessened. And it's probably fair to say he started to put her down and feeling like he could do better, but kind of blamed Mum for his life so far. So divorce has been on the cards for a while. Mama's illnesses mean she didn't quite grasp this. I'm sure they were going to break up. But why did Dad have to cheat with a 23-year-old? He should have just left. My mum is devastated and suicidal. Seeing her now smashes my heart into pieces. She can't cope on her own. I fear she will end her life. I think my dad is trying to regain the youth he feels he's lost, which includes a very young woman and fancy things and hating the fact he's 60. My moral compass is smashed up. Is this what someone at the end of their tether does after 40 years of looking after someone as mentally ill as my mum? Has he finally lost it? The fact she is 23 and he's 60 makes me feel physically sick, though. I just don't know what to do or think. Thoughts or advice are welcome.